What if I told you that those daily walks you've been taking after turning 70, thinking you're preserving your youth, might actually be doing the opposite, quietly accelerating the aging process you're so diligently trying to avoid? Seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? But stick with me here. My neighbor, Mr. Thompson, a vibrant 75-year-old, is a prime example. Rain or shine, he religiously clocks nearly 7,000 steps each morning, circling his block with unwavering dedication, convinced he's doing everything right to stay healthy. Then, last month, while carrying a modest bag of groceries up the few steps to his front porch, his knee simply gave out. Thankfully, no fracture, but it served as a stark wake-up call. Walking is undeniably beneficial, of course. But relying solely on it is like tending to a plant by only watering it, completely neglecting the crucial elements of sunlight and essential nutrients. After 70, your body demands more than just accumulating steps. In this video, I'm going to unveil 5 essential types of movement that every senior needs to incorporate into their daily routine to maintain strength, balance, freedom from pain, and, most importantly, independence. These are all doctor-approved, gentle on the joints, and easily adaptable to be performed in the comfort of your own home. And the last one I'll share? It just might be the single biggest secret weapon in the fight against aging gracefully, a concept that most people have never even considered. So please stay with me until the very end. If you're over 60, these next 10 minutes could be the most impactful investment you make in your body's well-being this entire year. If you're ready to embrace a life filled with greater strength, improved balance, and significantly less pain, I'd love to know you're with me on this journey. Drop your name and age in the comments below, or simply type the number 9 if you're making the conscious choice to take smarter, more comprehensive care of your body starting right now. Number 1. Strength training, your body's silent, yet powerful shield after 70. Let me introduce you to Helen. She's 74, resides in a quaint little town nestled in the heart of Oregon, and for years, she's diligently walked her familiar neighborhood loop every morning, faithfully logging approximately 5,000 steps before breakfast. She genuinely believed she was doing everything right to maintain her health and vitality. Then, one fateful day, she attempted to lift a standard laundry basket and step up into her house. Her leg buckled beneath her. Thankfully, she didn't suffer a major fall, but the incident left her deeply shaken. Her doctor explained gently, "Helen, walking keeps you moving, that's true. But it doesn't build or maintain the strength you need." Here's the often overlooked reality that most seniors fail to recognize. After the age of 50, we begin to experience a gradual, almost imperceptible decline in muscle mass. It's a condition called sarcopenia, and by the time we reach 70, its effects can leave us noticeably weaker, even if we maintain an active lifestyle. Walking is undeniably fantastic for your heart and overall circulation, but it simply doesn't engage your glutes, hamstrings, biceps, or core muscles in the same way that strength training does. And these are precisely the muscles that play a critical role in keeping you upright, stable, and safe from falls. The encouraging news? You don't need a fancy gym membership. You don't need to lift heavy weights. And you certainly don't need to aspire to become a bodybuilder. Helen started incredibly simple. She incorporated wall push-ups while waiting for the kettle to boil. She did share squats during commercial breaks while watching her favorite television shows. She even lifted soup cans while chatting with her sister on the phone. Fast forward just 6 weeks. Helen wasn't just physically stronger, she felt fundamentally different. More stable, more confident, and more in control of her own body. She could effortlessly carry heavier grocery bags, climb stairs without hesitation, and even open stubbornly tight jars without assistance. Strength training acts as your invisible armor, preventing your legs from buckling unexpectedly, steadying your hands from trembling, and empowering your body to perform everyday tasks without relying on others. Want to assess your current strength level right now? Try standing up from a firm chair without using your hands for assistance. Are you struggling even slightly? That's not merely a sign of aging. That's your dwindling muscle mass waving a bright red flag, urgently signaling that it needs attention. But here's the inspiring truth. Muscle has the remarkable ability to respond and rebuild itself at any age, even well into your 80s. A mere 10 to 15 minutes of targeted strength training, performed just 3 times a week, can dramatically reverse the slide and restore your strength and vitality. So, don't wait for a frightening incident to prompt you into action. Start small, stay consistent, and treat strength training like brushing your teeth, a non-negotiable part of taking care of the one and only body you've been given. Number 2, balance and stability, the often forgotten skill that keeps you confidently on your feet. David, 76, used to be as steady and sure-footed as they come. A retired bus driver from Kansas, he had safely transported thousands of people from stop to stop for over 30 years. Balance was something he never gave a second thought to until one seemingly ordinary afternoon. While walking to his mailbox, he stepped off the curb and his foot faltered, just enough to send him teetering precariously, nearly falling face first onto the unforgiving sidewalk. That brief, unsettling moment shook him far more profoundly than he anticipated. Here's the blunt truth. No one explicitly tells you that balance is a skill, not an inherent trait. And like any skill, if you don't actively practice and nurture it, you inevitably lose it over time. It's easy to assume that simply walking regularly is enough to keep your balance sharp and reliable. However, walking is primarily a repetitive forward motion. It doesn't truly challenge your body's internal navigation system, what doctors refer to as proprioception. And it doesn't effectively wake up and strengthen your ankle stabilizers, inner ear mechanisms, or overall reaction time. That's precisely why falls are the #1 cause of hospital visits for seniors in the United States, surpassing even heart attacks and strokes. David's doctor didn't just casually advise him to be careful. She prescribed 3 specific exercises: standing on one foot while brushing his teeth, walking heel to toe in a straight line, and performing gentle sidestepping motions with his eyes softly closed for just a few seconds. Within a mere 2 weeks, David noticed a significant improvement. He wasn't instinctively reaching for walls and furniture as frequently to steady himself. Within a month, he felt noticeably more confident and secure when walking outdoors. Want to try a quick assessment right now? Stand next to a sturdy counter for support. Lift one foot off the ground and count to 10. Easy, right? Now, try it again with your eyes closed. Wobbling a bit? That's your body communicating, hey, we need to work on this aspect of our physical well-being. The best part is that balance training only requires a few minutes each day. No specialized equipment, no gym membership necessary, and it might just be the single most impactful thing you can do to prevent a fall that could drastically alter your life. So, the next time you're thinking about your overall health, don't just focus on being strong. Prioritize being steady. Because staying confidently on your feet starts with training your brain and body to work in perfect harmony, even in the seemingly insignificant moments. Number 3, flexibility and mobility, because life rarely moves in a perfectly straight line. Marlene, 78, used to find immense joy in gardening. Her backyard in North Carolina was a vibrant tapestry of colorful flowers, winding stone paths, and the intoxicating scent of rosemary permeating the air. But one morning, while carefully backing out of her driveway, she experienced a frustrating realization. She couldn't comfortably turn her head to check her blind spot. It wasn't necessarily pain, but rather a feeling of being stuck and restricted. Her neck felt tight, her back felt stiff, and when she attempted to reach into the back seat for her purse, her arms simply didn't extend as far as it used to. She casually dismissed it as an inevitable part of growing older. But what she didn't realize at the time was that what she was experiencing wasn't an unavoidable consequence of aging. It was a warning sign of underuse, not simply age. You see, walking is undeniably beneficial, but it primarily involves forward motion in a straight line. It doesn't effectively rotate your spine, stretch your hips, or open up your chest. And over time, your joints can begin to stiffen and lock up from a lack of movement variety. Marlene's physical therapist didn't prescribe medication. Instead, she prescribed a series of mobility drills, seated spinal twists while watching her favorite television program, gentle neck rolls every morning, arm sweeps and toe touches, and ankle circles and wrist stretches before bedtime. Just 30 days later, Marlene could comfortably look behind her while driving without any strain. She could reach overhead in the kitchen without wincing in discomfort, and she was happily back in her garden, pruning her roses with a genuine smile on her face. Flexibility isn't about being able to touch your toes or performing advanced yoga handstands. It's about being able to perform everyday tasks with ease and grace, putting on your socks, picking up a grandchild, turning your head when someone calls your name. Want to quickly assess your current mobility? Try this. Sit tall and slowly turn your head to the left, then to the right. Do you feel any tightness or restriction? Does your range of motion feel limited? That's stiffness, your body gently requesting more movement variety. The great thing is that mobility can be improved in small, manageable increments, incorporated into moments throughout your day, during TV time, while waiting for your coffee to brew, or even lying in bed before drifting off to sleep. It doesn't require excessive sweating or soreness, just focused attention and intentional movement. So, if you want to continue moving through life with grace and freedom, don't just walk straight. Twist, reach, bend, and stretch, because life happens in all directions, and your body should be ready and able to follow. Number 4. Core and posture, the silent foundation of strength and stability. Leonard is 76, a retired engineer from Ohio who has always prided himself on being strong and upright. For most of his life, he carried himself with a tall posture, shoulders back, chest open, a confident stride. But recently, his daughter noticed a subtle, yet concerning change. He was starting to lean forward slightly when he walked. Not dramatically, but enough to make her worry. His back ached after even short walks. He struggled to stand up straight from the couch. And tying his shoes felt considerably more difficult than it used to. When he finally consulted a movement specialist, the diagnosis surprised him. It wasn't arthritis. It wasn't spinal damage. It was core atrophy, the slow and gradual weakening of the deep muscles that support posture, stability, and overall strength. Here's what many people fail to realize. Walking doesn't effectively activate your deep core muscles, the ones that stabilize your spine, pelvis, and diaphragm. These muscles are like the essential foundation of a house. If they weaken, the entire structure begins to tilt and become unstable. But here's the encouraging news. You don't need any fancy equipment to rebuild your core strength. Leonard started small. He stood with his heels, hips, and head touching a wall for just 2 minutes each day. He performed seated pelvic tilts during commercial breaks. He practiced core bracing, deep breathing while gently tightening his lower belly muscles. In just a few weeks, his back pain eased by more than half. His posture improved significantly. He even mentioned that he could breathe deeper and felt less bloated after meals. Why? Because posture isn't merely about appearances. It directly affects your digestion, breathing, and even your balance. Want to perform a simple self-assessment? Stand against a wall. Can your head, shoulders, and tailbone all touch the wall simultaneously without straining? If not, or if it feels uncomfortable, that's your cue to start paying attention to your core strength. And here's the empowering part. Core strength responds at any age. Whether you're 60 or 90, your posture can improve with just a few focused minutes each day. So, the next time you feel that subtle slouch creeping in, don't simply shrug it off. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and give your core the gentle attention it's quietly requesting. Because staying upright isn't just about standing straight. It's about living strong, moving freely, and aging with dignity. Number 5. Joint-friendly movement. Move smarter, not just more. Malcolm is 79, a lifelong hiker from Colorado. Even after retirement, he faithfully maintained his morning routine, a 3-mile walk through the foothills every day. He felt a sense of pride in staying active, especially when he saw friends his age slowing down considerably. But over time, something gradually changed. He started noticing a dull ache in his knees. His ankles felt stiff after walking. Some days, he'd come home and need to ice both legs just to make it through the afternoon. He initially assumed it was simply a consequence of old age. But at his next checkup, his orthopedic doctor shared something he didn't expect. Malcolm, it's not just age, it's repetition without proper support. Walking is often touted as the perfect low-impact exercise, and for many, it is. However, when joints aren't adequately supported by strong muscles, especially after 70, repetitive walking, particularly on hard pavement, can quietly wear down cartilage and strain the knees, hips, and ankles. It's akin to driving a car with poor wheel alignment. You might eventually reach your destination, but the tires will wear down much faster. So, Malcolm made a deliberate shift in his routine. He replaced 2 of his weekly walks with joint-friendly alternatives. Water aerobics at his local YMCA, where the buoyancy relieved pressure on his joints, a recumbent bike ride on Sundays, which was easy on his knees, but still provided excellent cardiovascular exercise, and chair yoga 3 mornings a week to stretch and strengthen his muscles without impact. Within a month, he noticed a significant improvement. Less swelling, less stiffness, and more enjoyment of his physical activity. He still walked, but now with greater strength and support behind every step. Here's the crucial takeaway. Movement is essential, but variety is vital. If walking leaves you feeling sore and achy, that's not just a sign of aging. It's your body signaling that it needs a change. Want to try something right now? Sit in a chair and stand up without using your hands. If your knees or hips protest loudly, it's a clear indication that your joints are bearing the brunt of the work that your muscles should be supporting. So, what can you incorporate into your routine to make it more joint-friendly? Aquatic exercises, seated resistance band workouts, Tai Chi, stationary cycling, and gentle mobility flows performed on the floor or in a chair are all excellent options. These aren't lesser forms of exercise. They're simply smarter choices for where your body is right now. Malcolm didn't abandon walking altogether. He simply walked smarter. And you can too. Because aging well isn't about doing less. It's about doing what keeps you moving with strength, comfort, and unwavering confidence. Final thoughts. It's never too late to move better. Let's be honest. Most of us grew up believing that walking every day was the gold standard for maintaining health and vitality in our later years. And yes, walking is undeniably beneficial. It gets you moving, clears your head, and supports your cardiovascular system. But now you know that walking alone simply isn't enough. It doesn't build the strength you need to climb stairs with confidence. It doesn't train your balance to keep you steady during unexpected stumbles. It doesn't stretch your joints, support your posture, or adequately protect your knees. After 70, your body requires more than just motion. It needs smart, targeted movement that keeps you strong, steady, flexible, upright, and free from pain. But here's the truly empowering message. You don't have to completely overhaul your life. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day, performed consistently, is enough to make a real and lasting difference. Think back to Helen, David, Marlene, Leonard, and Malcolm. None of them started with grand, sweeping changes. They started right where they were, with what they had available to them, and they took small, consistent steps that ultimately yielded remarkable results. Now it's your turn. Which area will you focus on first? Strength, balance, flexibility, core stability, or joint-friendly movement? Leave a comment below and let us know. Your story might be the very one that inspires someone else to embark on their own transformative journey. Stay strong, stay curious, and keep moving with purpose.